I'm your density. I mean, your destiny.
Hello gamers, Navy Gunner 04 here bringing you a review of Destiny, post-Taken King expansion. I will be discussing some of the things that were changed, some of the stuff that were not changed, and some of the new stuff that was added to the series. The base Destiny game was released September of 2014 for the PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, Xbox 360, and Xbox One. It is also the first new game released by Bungie since Halo. This game is a mix between first-person shooter, MMO, and RPG. You travel between different worlds using a central hub and do almost all of your buying, turning in quests, and taking on missions in the home base hub. The game has many game modes: Crucible for online PvP, Story Mode, which can be played by yourself or co-op with up to 3 people, Strikes, which are basically 3-player fight your way to the boss mode, where the players can be random people or friends, and the last mode is called Raid. This is a 6-player quest, requires a huge amount of teamwork, communication, could take up to a couple hours, and all of your members must be in your party. There is no random matchmaking in this mode. This is the most difficult mode in Destiny, and you are left to your own devices to figure out how to progress through the quest. This is the best place to get the most powerful gear, with some gear only being available during these raids, or doing these raids on hard mode. Gear is split up into 4 categories: common, rare, legendary, and exotic. Each item can be upgraded after earning XP. The rarer the loot, the better the quality of the upgrade. A common chest plate, upgraded, may offer something like ammo clips for rifles, while a rare chest plate could offer better special cooldown times, higher defense, and larger ammo drops. Exotic is the best and hardest to earn, but can be hugely upgraded for more power or different attributes. As an example, one of the exotic rocket launchers has multiple rocket shots. The upgrade would add homing ability to each of those shots. The only downfall of exotics is that only one piece of exotic armor and one piece of exotic weapon is allowed to be equipped at the same time. A few of the big complaints I had with the original game were too little mission variety, too many money types, too little reward of money types. When you would decode a piece of armor or weapon, you could get a power rarity lower than what was portrayed on the coded loot. Bosses were also bullet sponges, and character leveling was just atrocious. The issue of content amount and variety has been fixed with the release of the Dark Below, House of Wolves, and the Taken King expansion. Each world has many areas and tasks to complete. Instead of completing all of the single-player missions within 12 hours, it now takes about 30 hours total. There are also many new strikes and 2 new raids, bringing the total of raids up to 3. The money type is still varied, but has been much improved. Individual factions' money have all been combined into one money, called Legendary Marks. You are still required to level up the factions to access better loot from that faction, but having one currency drastically takes the frustration out of buying equipment. Another huge improvement is how money and loot is dropped. During the first year, money and loot was stingily dropped, which is why people love the loot cave glitch. A type of money used for exotic gear is called strange coins. These used to be very, very difficult and rare to get. I played on the PlayStation 4 version of Destiny for over 70 hours and only had earned about 20 of these coins. To get the lowest item with them, you would use a minimum of 7 of these coins. After playing for about 30 hours on the Taken King version, I have earned about 40 coins. A huge improvement over the original, and almost all loot and money are dropped at this higher rate. With many of the loot items that were dropped, you would have to take them and get them decrypted, which would give you a random piece of loot. These loot engrams would fall as different colors for the different rarities. Before a patch, these colors never meant anything because you could get a random loot at any level of rarity you could have a legendary engram and it could be decoded as a common. After the patch, this was fixed so that the rarity of this item meets or exceeds the rarity on the engram. Another huge complaint is that bosses felt like huge bullet sponges. It felt like your level and weapons didn't make much of a difference. Now they feel much better suited to take damage to a specific weapon. While a rifle could still take a while, a rocket launcher can now do some serious damage. The final and biggest complaint I had with the original Destiny was the leveling. Pre-Taken King expansion, players had a level cap of 20. You could then gain better weapons and armor to raise a secondary meter called the light level. With this light level, you could reach level 30 with no expansions, 32 with Dark Below expansion, and 34 with House of Wolves expansion. The problem with this is that loot drops are completely random, so it would be a grind to try and level up. After the Taken King expansion, the level cap was raised to 40, with all of it being able to be earned by XP. Light still plays a strong role, but is now used for increasing defense and damage of weapons and armor. I was a level 28 after 70 plus hours before. Now starting from level 1, it took me almost 30 hours to reach level 40 with just one character. This is a huge and probably the most important improvement of the game.
They're finished.
One issue that I had that hasn't been fully resolved is the hub to choose your levels. Right now, you are at the hub. If you want to buy something, decode engrams, or get missions, you have to go back to the tower. Then to go back to choose a level, you have to reload the hub, then choose your level, and load into that. After the level, you load back into the hub and start the process all over again. It is as confusing as it sounds. This means that you could have a lot of waiting in between matches. This could be fixed by removing the hub and integrating the hub features into the tower themselves, but I don't see that happening anytime soon. They did add a feature that allowed you to track your missions and redeem some of the missions without ever having to leave the planet that you're on. This made a big difference, but it would be nice to see all of it move to that direction. A few of the changes that are added are more inventory slots for bounty missions. It has been raised to 16 slots. Vault space has been doubled to 72 slots. A new subclass with new damage types were added to each of the 3 character classes. You can turn in bounties and quests at any time in-game instead of only in the tower. New ghost shells are available, and added defense stats to your character. New ghost shells are available and add defense stats to your character. A new level 40 slot for artifacts has been added that added bonus attributes. Quests can be tracked in your HUD, and class items have built-in perks. Legendary marks are no longer limited to a maximum amount each week. Dismantling legendary equipment now gives you legendary marks. The gunsmith will now allow you to take weapons to try in the field. And finally, you can now infuse legendary and exotic weapons to boost the stats of each of these weapons. So, what did I think of Destiny? Well, pre-expansion pack, I gave this game a 7 out of 10, citing the issues that I had let you know about earlier. Due to the changes, though, with the 2 expansions and the Taken King expansion, I would probably give this game a 9 out of 10 now. It may still have a few quirks, but the improvements have more than made up for it. If you are new to Destiny, or are wondering if the Taken King expansion is worth it, I can confidently tell you that this is the game that Destiny should have been when it released 1 year ago. I'd like to thank you all for bearing with me as I change software for recording and for editing. If you like this video, please give a little thumbs up that's down there in the corner. Subscribe to my channel. If you have any comments or want something reviewed, just let me know in the comments below.